Alaikum. So, hope you guys are doing well. This is Ashar here, and today we are going to have a very short topic that is going to be API integration with Flutter, and I will cover the basic API that is available for practice actually. So, what I have developed so far, I have created an app with having name meal app, and this has some folders like API that we are going to use for having a API call, and the controller we are going to use provider in this tutorial, and there will be a model, and this is the main.dart file. If you are new to Flutter, you'll be able to understand the things. I'm going very simple and short way. So here our boilerplate code. I'm going to remove this, and for now I'm going to put some container here. Yeah, okay. Uh, what else I have added? I have added the latest version of HTTP and the provider package. Actually, the HTTP is going to use for parsing our API URL, and the provider we are going to use for the state management. So let's start working with that. First of all, what we require is our API. Okay, so we are going to have you can call API service class. This is how we define a class in Flutter. Actually, you can call this API service class. Sorry, I misspelled it. A repository or a service class, whatever you want to. But for now, I will use it as a API service class. Okay. So first of all, we need a variable that is going to be a string, and that is going to be a API key, I can say, and it will hold the API key for our app, and that is this. We are going to use this open source API for our get request, and I will copy this one, control C, and coming here, I will put it here. So that's it. We have it. Second, what we are going to do, we are going to create a model for that particular API. What I will do, I'm coming here. I will copy it from here, and I will go to this website. This is going to be the JSON to Dart, and what I will do, I'm going to paste my data here. So sorry, I have generated this class already. So here we will put our class names, the model names, and it will generate models for us. Okay, so that's it. We are going to use this pre-built model, as I will copy this coming here, and I will put it here. Hopefully you guys will understand. Until now we don't need to change anything here, so even we can close this one. Okay, so coming back to the API service class, here we need some packages. First of all, we will start parsing this API. For that, we are going to create a function that is going to be a fetch data, and this function is going to be a future because we are going to get data from future, and it will be having a list of meal model. That's it. So what I have done so far, this fetch data is going to be the future that will return a list of meals. I can say meal model or meals, and coming here, sorry for the trouble, it is going to have the meals actually. Why meals? Let me show you. Okay, so if you will see, this is our class. Sorry, this is our class, and here we have the constructor. Here we have the meals. We are going to use these meals. Okay, so we are going to have, actually what I'm trying to say, we are going to have a list of this data, right? So this is it. This is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so coming here, as this is a future function, so it will have the async, and to synchronize the transmission of data. Now what we need the http package to work. So I don't remember actually, so I'm going to copy this line we require and putting it after it, and now we are going to use this one. So here we are going to have a final variable that we are going to call the response. Okay, and this response, I will tell you why we are having this response. Just to start it, what we need to do, that response is going to be http, because we are having the data from API, so we are using the get. Get will hold the URL. We can't provide it this URL directly. What we will do, we are going to parse this URL to get our required data. So what we need to do, we are going to have the URI dot parse, sorry, parse. So now we need to provide this URL, and we don't need to provide it directly. We can use this name actually. So here we go. So that's it. Okay. Now we are going to use a if condition. So this response will hold, you can say, the all properties of this API. Okay. So now if the response dot status code, what is going to be the status code? Okay, so we are not having the status code here. Why? Because we have to await this function to get data from the API, and coming up here, and this is going to have a status code. Yeah, we have it, equal to 200. Sorry, so what is this 200? 200 basically will tell if that this API is having the status code. I can say, the how can I define the status code? Status code basically means the API is going to have some signals, and if those signals are correct, so the status code will be 200. Sometimes when you visit some website, you see the status code 404 or fatal error 404. That is actually the error we are facing due to the server is down. So if the server is working fine, so what we need to do, we are going to implement the body. Okay, so sorry, I have a mistake here. we okay, so this URI is going to have this URL on the basis of some query, and that query will be coming from this function, and this will be like the URL, the value at URL API key plus what we need the query as well, and that is going to be QUERY. Okay, so here we have it. So we're going to get data on the basis of this. Okay, so if what we need to do, if the connection response dot status code equal to 200, we are going to do in before returning something, we need to convert it to JSON code. So what we need to do first, we will have a variable with data that is going to be JSON dot decode. Decode what? We are going to decode this response dot and the body of this response. What we are doing here, we are getting the data here from the JSON. This JSON is decoding this body. Which body is it? Is actually, I'm talking about this. Okay, so this is the body, and that is going to be decoded into the Dart functions, oh sorry, the Dart format. Okay, so next let's return now if this is okay. So what we are going to do, let's remove it first. And what we are going to do, if data at meals is not equal to null, then return. Okay, so data at meals, what is meals actually? Meals is basically the starting point of this API key. Okay, so we are going to get data from this and coming up here again and returning something, list of meals, list of meals that is going to be in the form of map first. Is so the data of meals going to be converted from the map. So this is going to have some query here that is going to be a meal, and coming up here and meals dot from JSON is going to have this meal. What it requires a map string. So what we are it a map string value, a dynamic value that is going to be considered as a map string dynamic value. Okay, so what we did here, actually we are going to give it a list of meals that is going to have the data of meals that we are mapping from our from JSON file where we have written this code. Don't get confused, I will provide the code in the GitHub repository. I will share that in the I will share the link in description. So we have it here. This is our meals dot from JSON function. This is actually why this is here. We are getting data from the API, and we get that data this way. Okay, so coming here again null. So this is going to provide this list, otherwise this is going to provide this list, the empty list. But what if the response, sorry, the status code is not 200? It is going to else throw some exception that is going to be can't, sorry, can't load data in meals from meals, and that's it. We are done.